Welcome back to another video. Today, we'll take a look at 13 foods that cause inflammation. While some inflammation is good for the body, since it's your body's natural response to protect itself, chronic inflammation is something you'll want to avoid. Not only is chronic inflammation viewed as the root cause of most illnesses, it can also prevent you from enjoying a happy, active lifestyle. By knowing which foods to avoid, you'll not only reduce the risk of chronic diseases, but also improve your mood, energy, and overall quality of life. Be sure to watch all the way to number 1, when we'll reveal a food source of inflammation most people have totally missed. Now, when most people think of inflammation, they think of a swollen ankle or knee after a sprain or other injury. But inflammation is far more serious. You may not even see the inflammation, but you can bet it is there, especially if you don't eat properly or exercise regularly. That's because inflammation is actually the body's natural response to stress. Be it dietary, physical, environmental, or even emotional. And once your body starts to become inflamed, it puts you at risk for everything from weight gain, migraines, allergies and colds and flus, to more serious illnesses such as gout, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, and the dreaded C-word cancer. Even the healthiest among us will have some type of inflammation. If you live in today's fast-paced, toxin-filled world, you have inflammation. The real question is, what do you plan to do about it? Let's look at what causes inflammation. Well, lack of sleep, stress, dehydration, smoking, drinking alcohol, and gut bacteria imbalance are all contributing factors. But the main cause, and the most easily reversible, is eating an inflammatory diet. Here are the top 13 foods that cause inflammation, that you should avoid at all cost. Replace these inflammatory foods with healthy substitutes today. Let's begin with our number 13. Corn. Ancient corn is a nutritious, healthy grain. The genetically engineered corn we find at the grocery store, and in processed foods, is not. Corn is one of the most genetically engineered foods, and one of the most prone to pesticide residue. Glyphosate is a widely used pesticide farmers spray on genetically engineered crops. By killing off beneficial gut bacteria, glyphosate allows bad bacteria to thrive. This triggers an inflammatory response that can cause achy joints. This herbicide is responsible for many digestive conditions like inflammatory bowel disease and celiac disease. Find them in conventional baked goods, cereals, breakfast bars, processed meat, and corn syrup. Substitute. Buy organic corn or replace it with other small vegetables like peas and beans. Number 12. Common cooking oils. Vegetable cooking oils are used in many homes and restaurants, and have very high omega-6 fatty acids, and dismally low omega-3 fats. Excess consumption of omega-6 triggers the production of pro-inflammatory chemicals that wreak havoc on your body. Find them in polyunsaturated vegetable oils such as grapeseed, cottonseed, safflower, corn and sunflower oils. Also, soy and peanut oils. These oils are often used in processed foods, baked goods, fast food, and fried foods. Substitute. Macadamia oil, extra virgin olive oil, or avocado oil. When in doubt, the best oil to cook with is coconut oil. Number 11. Sugar. Excessive sugar intake causes tooth decay and increases your risks of obesity, inflammation, and chronic diseases such as metabolic syndrome and type 2 diabetes. Sugar also feeds bad bacteria and cancer cells, giving your immune system a hard time. Because it's excessively acidic, sugar directly causes inflammation. Find them in sugar-sweetened beverages like soft drinks, fruit drinks and punches. And sweets like pastries, desserts, candies and snacks. Substitute. Opt for natural sweeteners like maple syrup, agave, honey, or blackstrap molasses. If your sweet tooth bothers you, snack on some fresh berries, or all-natural dried fruits, to fix your craving. Number 10. Artificial sweeteners. Processed sugars and sweeteners trigger the release of inflammatory messengers called cytokines. One in particular, corn syrup, causes inflammation of the liver, and contributes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Find them in sweets and processed foods. Look out for corn syrup, dextrose, fructose, golden syrup, maltose, sorghum syrup, and sucrose. Substitute. Skip the artificial stuff and go for all natural sweets like dates and honey. To keep the calorie count low, opt for stevia instead of Splenda. Number 9. Trans fats. Trans fatty acids are notorious for their double whammy effect. They increase the levels of bad cholesterol while lowering levels of the good cholesterol. They also increase inflammation. The Harvard School of Public Health warned about the dangers of trans fats in the early 1990s. Saturated fats aren't much better. They trigger fat tissue inflammation, which is not only an indicator for heart disease, but it also worsens arthritis inflammation. Find them in deep-fried foods, fast foods, baked goods, frozen foods, margarine. Substitute. Choose products that do not contain trans fats, partially hydrogenated oil, or vegetable shortening. When in doubt, assume that all commercially prepared foods contain trans fats, unless stated otherwise. Number 8. Dairy products. As much as 60% of the world's population cannot digest milk. In fact, many researchers think that being able to digest milk beyond infancy is abnormal, rather than the other way round. Milk is an allergen that can trigger inflammatory responses, such as stomach distress, constipation, diarrhea, skin rashes, acne, hives, and breathing difficulties in susceptible people. Plus, hormones, pesticides, and antibiotics fed to cattle make their way into milk, compounding the problem. Find them in. Apart from milk products like butter and cheese, foods with hidden dairy content include breads, cookies, crackers, cakes, cream sauces, protein powder, and boxed cereals. Substitute. Replace milk with coconut milk or homemade nut milk. Use coconut oil instead of butter, and cashews instead of cheese. Number 7. Non-organic meat. Commercially prepared meats come from animals fed with grains like soybeans and corn, a diet that is high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids, but low in anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats. They are also loaded with antibiotics and hormones to keep them free from infection and speed up reproduction. Find them in. Unless otherwise stated, most, if not all, beef, pork, and poultry you find in the supermarkets and restaurants come from feedlot farms. Substitute. Free-range organic meat from animals that are fed a natural diet of grass and vegetables. Number 6. Processed meat. Processed meat is cured, salted, smoked, or otherwise preserved meat. It typically contains added nitrates, corn products, soy, and preservatives and coloring agents. These ingredients make the food product so toxic, it's carcinogenic. Now, that's hard to swallow. Find them in ham, hot dogs, sausage, lunch meat, bacon, and salami. Substitute. Eat fresh meat, poultry, and fish or organic alternatives like smoked salmon or beef jerky. Number 5. Alcohol. Regular alcohol consumption causes irritation and inflammation of the esophagus, larynx, and liver. Over time, the chronic inflammation can lead to tumor growth at the sites of repeated irritation. Find them in beers, ciders, liqueurs, and wines. Substitute. Refreshing and thirst-quenching drinks like a glass of pure, filtered water, tea, or fresh-pressed juice. Number 4. Refined grains. A lot of the grains we eat nowadays are genetically modified, processed, and contaminated with herbicides and pesticides. Some grains, like wheat, are so refined that they cause severe allergy-like symptoms in most of the population. What's more, wheat is bleached and stripped of its nutrients, which are added later on, in the form of synthetic vitamins and minerals. This is why most white flour is labeled as enriched. Plus, like refined sugars, refined grains have a higher glycemic index than unprocessed grains, which can hasten the onset of degenerative diseases. Find them in white flour, white bread, noodles, pasta, biscuits, and pastries. Substitute. Go for ancient healthy grains like amaranth, quinoa, spelt, rye, millet, buckwheat, and chia. These are available as whole grains or prepared whole grain flour in most health food stores. Number 3. MSG, monosodium glutamate. MSG is a preservative and food additive that enhances flavor in processed foods. It contains fermented starch, corn sugar, molasses, sugar cane, or sugar beets. MSG sensitivity can trigger symptoms like headache, facial pressure, drowsiness, and numbness and tingling in the face, back, and arms. Other reactions to MSG may include flushing, sweating, chest pain, and weakness. Find them in. MSG is very popular in store-bought Asian food, as well as food prepared in Asian restaurants. Even MSG-free restaurants have been found to use the ingredient. Substitute. Enhance food with a dash of salt and pepper, or give it more flavor with spices. If you aren't sure if your favorite Chinese restaurant uses this ingredient, cook Asian food at home. Number 2. Refined salts. Sodium is essential for nerve and muscle function, blood pressure regulation, and more. But too much can lead to high blood pressure, kidney problems, low bone density, inflammation, and fluid retention. The body's excess sodium is released through sweat and urine. A study has found that high salt intake is associated with enhanced inflammation and target organ damage. Unlike unprocessed salt, table salt is heated at extreme temperatures and is full of questionable additives. Find them in processed foods, fast food, and almost everything served in restaurants. Substitute. Replace iodized salt with all-natural unrefined sea salt or Himalayan salt. Instead of using extra salt, use spices and herbs to flavor your meal. Number 1. Fill in the blank. Why is this blank? Because it is meant for you to fill in with the food that you are sensitive to. Many people are sensitive to certain foods, but are totally unaware of it. Unlike food allergies whereby symptoms usually come fast and furious, symptoms caused by food intolerance may take a longer time to manifest. Consequently, when symptoms of food intolerance do appear, they are often brushed off as common minor ailments, such as tiredness and headaches. But repeated, long-term exposure to food that irritates can cause inflammation and lead to chronic disease. Find them in. Common food allergens are gluten, milk, nuts, eggs, and nightshade vegetables. Contrary to common belief, it is possible to develop an allergy to the foods that you eat often. Substitute. If you suspect that a particular food may be responsible for your food intolerant response, try avoiding it completely for about 2 weeks and monitor your reaction. At the end of the abstinence period, reintroduce the food back into your diet. If you are in fact incompatible with it, you should be able to notice the difference in how you feel easily. There you have it, the 13 foods that cause inflammation you should avoid. To get inflammation under control, you have to target its root cause. Cut out foods that promote inflammation, and add in foods that fight inflammation. Start by swapping out canola oil for olive or coconut oil, and spice things up with a little turmeric and anti-inflammatory herbs. Focus on unprocessed, whole foods and stay hydrated. Finally, focus on your health by exercising regularly and lower your stress levels. Most of all, make sure to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day to help your body recover at night and reduce inflammation. If you enjoyed this video, like, share and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And now, over to you. Which inflammatory food will you cut from your diet today? Leave your comment below. And be sure to check out our other videos.